Okay, good morning. Welcome to UltimateProject16. Today I want to take a real quick look at maybe a 10-minute intro video to the Doublewide Johnny Bravo game at the 2011 Colorado Cup. I saw this game on Ultivillage's Clip of the Day, and it's a new thing that they're doing called the Elite Team Partnership, where they're going to show, or they're at least going to film, and you'll have an opportunity to see. I don't know if they're going to all be free like this one, or you're going to have to pay a little bit, but either way I think it's great. And this is being sponsored by Patagonia Discraft and Ultivillage, so great job for them. I am not affiliated with this, but I thought this was such a great thing. I wanted to make a little introduction so that people can maybe get a little bit more out of these videos, especially younger players. So I'll try to keep it to 10 minutes, so let's get going. So Doublewide wins this game 15-11. Pretty good play from both teams, considering this is the first game of the year. I don't think either team would all be that happy about it if they played this way at Nationals, but for the first game of the year, everyone's playing reasonably well, and there's a few things to look at. So first of all, the stats. Doublewide throws 130 passes, has 10 turnovers, about 92% completion rate. Johnny Bravo throws 150 passes with 13 turns, about a 91% completion rate. That sort of shows that completion rates don't really tell you as much as you think they might. What I like to look at instead are what happened after a turn. So after a Johnny Bravo turn, Doublewide had a long field, basically had to go the full length of the field 6 times, scored 4 goals. They had to go about half field twice, turned over both times. They had a short field 5 times and scored 4 out of 5 times. The one time they didn't score, I want to spend some time talking about in the next clip here. But Doublewide should be very happy about converting 4 out of 6 of the long ones. Here, converting sort of, let's say 4 out of 7 of the medium to short ones. I think they need to improve on that a little bit. But again, for the first game of the club season, it's not the worst thing in the world. After a Doublewide turn, Johnny Bravo converted only 2 out of 8 times where they had to go to the full field. That's a problem. That's a big problem, and something that should concern Bravo a lot, and something they should probably spend a little bit of time figuring out how to work on. Medium and short turns, they converted each time they had them. Now, one other thing this tells you. Doublewide does a very good job getting the disc down the field. Bravo had a medium and short field after a turn only twice in the whole game, whereas Doublewide, after a Johnny Bravo turn, had a medium or short field 7 times in the game, including 5 very short fields in which they scored 4 times on a total on 1 or 2 passes each time. So one other thing Bravo did not do a very good job is turning the disc over short. You cannot have turns on your half of the field. And to give Doublewide the disc 5 times in this game with sort of 10 to 20 yards to go is a disaster. The difference in the short conversions, 4-1, is 3 points in the game. So basically, Bravo spotted Doublewide 3 goals here. And you're just not going to be able to come back against a team like Doublewide. Bravo has to work on their long conversions, absolutely, and they have to be absolutely sure that they don't turn the disc over on the short field like that. Those are the 2 things that Bravo should look at this tape and really focus on for the rest of the season. Okay, so next thing, a little bit more about the turns. Alright, so on the turns, this is by my estimation of what caused the turns each time. Doublewide had 10 turns. 1 of them was caused by the D, 9 of them were their own fault. The 1D was a foot block, it turns out, on the very first point, actually maybe even the very first pass of the game, right in the beginning. For Johnny Bravo, they had 13 turns. 1 of them was caused by the defense, in my estimation. There was a nice layout block on a swing pass. Also, I think was the first Johnny Bravo turn of the game. 12 of them were their own fault. Drops, bad hucks, passes that went into the ground. Doublewide had a couple hucks out the back, a couple of very curious decisions on hucks. And so it shows you that both of these teams are playing at a level where they really determine their own destiny. If I mentioned a few other things that Johnny Bravo has to work on, and they do have to make sure they get the disc down the field to stop having those short turnovers and convert some long turnovers. But the 12 turnovers that they're giving to the other team, they just have to stop that. Doublewide has almost nothing else to work on between now and the end of the season, truth be told. Great athleticism. They're playing very well, especially for the beginning of the season. But if you just on your own accord are giving the other team the disc 9 times through no effort on their own, you're just giving it to them 9 times a game, that's not going to win nationals. I'm sorry. You can spend as much time at the track as you want, but you're going to have to spend. They are going to have to dedicate the rest of the season to getting this number down as small as possible. So now a couple of things specifically in the game that I liked or maybe didn't like, but I think are good lessons. Okay, the first good lesson in this I want to point out is the 19th point, double wides on O. It goes from 23:40 to it's about a minute long. If you're an elite team watching this, all the way down to beginning players watching this, high school players, college players, you can learn from this point. Nothing's forced. None of the cuts are forced. None of the throws are forced. Everything's easy. If you know how to throw a forehand and backhand, you can make every single throw in this on this point. Nothing's crazy. Number 2, they just take what Johnny Bravo gives them. So they're not looking to try to go deep. They're not looking. They have nothing at the beginning where they say, "Here's what we're going to do." They just take what the other team gives them, and they work the disc up the field and score pretty easily. And the last thing, all two-handed catches. Every single one of the catches here, the offensive player looks right into their hands. They make absolutely sure they catch it before they're trying to do anything else. Full 100% concentration. This is 100 out of 100 of what you want to see on offense. It's not going to be on SportsCenter highlights. They don't do anything amazing here. Like I said, anyone watching this can make all the throws in this point. It's a very good lesson. If they're playing like this now, it's going to be scary. And this is why I say what they have to work on between now and the end of the year is getting rid of the unforced turns. When they play like this, like they played on the 19th point, they're going to be very, very hard to beat. And by the way, they play like this right now about 80% of the time. About 20% of the time they get a little loose and make some ridiculous decisions or just very uncharacteristic turnovers. If they can play like this every point, forget it. They're going to be almost impossible to beat. Okay, next lesson. Okay, a second good lesson in this clip are the 5 times that Johnny Bravo turns the disc over and gives double wide a short field. So here's when they occur. At 3:39, it's a layout block. 4:05, it's either a bad throw or the receiver fell, some combination. 11:16, just a careless play throw. 28:22, it's a pass into the ground, and at 31:15, it's just a drop. So you can see 4 out of 5 of these are just totally unforced turns. And that's one lesson. But the other lesson here is how does Doublewide react here? On the first one, you'll see somebody rushing up to the disc and throwing it, and it's a turnover. Throws it too far, got a mark right on him. It's not the right way to react. On the remaining 4, they take their time, set up. It looks it's hard to tell the way this is filmed. It looks like they even have a timeout call, but they take their time. And they score in 1 or 2 passes each of these times. So rushing to throw the disc and trying to score in 1 pass creates a turnover. Taking your time gets a score also in 1 or 2 passes every time. So, when you get a gift from the other team like that, the natural tendency is to want to score quickly. It's somehow people believe you get more points if you score quicker. But this is a great example. Taking your time creates the easy goals, and rushing gives the disc right back to the other team. Who, in this case, gives it right back to you anyway. Okay, one last lesson. Okay, so the third lesson that I would try to focus on out of this video is Johnny Bravo's O. In particular, the 9th point that goes from 8:40 to 10:12, the 11th point that goes from 11:34 to 13:16. and the first position in the 16th point starts around 2023. It's early season, and that's why this is a good lesson. Their O is good. The O is going back and forth across the field a lot instead of up and down. It looks like when the disc gets onto the sideline to their downfield cutters, there's no one really to throw to. And so, if I'm Johnny Bravo here, I want to look at these points and say, why is our O breaking down? Why are we spending so much time going back and forth across the field rather than up and down the field? And that sort of indirectly, what that means is when they don't get down the field fast enough, when their turns end up being sort of too close to their own end zone and gifts to the other team. And so I think this might be more advanced than for, if you're a new player trying to get something out of this, but for an elite team like Johnny Bravo, this is the kind of stuff I'd be focusing on, saying why are we not moving the disc here? What's going wrong and how can we fix it? But okay, so that's sort of an introduction to what's in this video, and I think at any level this is a great video to watch and learn from. There's a lot of other lessons besides what I've pointed out here, but again, thanks to Ultivillage, Patagonia, and Discraft for doing this. I think these are going to be really fun to watch.